Hey there. Happy Friday. Friday. Doesn't really matter. I work Saturdays. But I think we should celebrate that it's Friday. And that's a great day, like Tuesday or Wednesday. They all have their own uh, little perks to them. So today's topic came about because I was having well, actually, it's been leading up to, but I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have run with it if somebody didn't say you should do that as a Facebook Friday. So um, the topic basically is like in my title. Let's give a little shout out to the guys doing their work. So you can imagine that a large part of my demographic is women and of all ages, but typically in the past, that has been the case. I have a nice large group of guys who are coming in for their coaching and for the support. And so the conversation we were having was largely based on promoting my business. Like, how do I move to the next step? What comes up and how do I step out onto that larger stage platform thing that we all know I love a stage. So, and the natural question came around about, what's my niche and who do I like working best with and those kind of questions. And then, which by the way, my answer was people. I like working with people. So I don't break it out into genders or age groups or even issues, which, if you can imagine, has been kind of difficult to identify my business and move forward. So I just keep doing what I do and it seems to work. But one of the things that was coming up was talking about all the moms that could use the support and all the females that could use the support. And hello, representing the guys, Tariq just signed on. So, hey, Tariq. One of the things I just had said was I'm so over hearing about, like, it's all women. I am so going to annoy some people with this, but I don't care. I think, like, you hear all the time, let's get the support to the women. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I have often in my own head, and since I made a commitment that I will speak up now rather than keeping it in my head to myself, I made that about 6-7 months ago. Any imbalance or injustice or something that I see right in front of me, I'm going to speak up to. And I said to her, respectfully, that that's not how I roll. So why can't we acknowledge the men in the world who are doing their work? Like, why do we have to constantly think that it's only women doing work? Like, there are dads in households that are doing amazing jobs, and all I hear about are the women. And it gets a little out of balance for me. And maybe this is because I see the hurt that's in their language, their face, their life, that it's not being seen or represented or heard. And listen, I'm not saying that we have to hand an award out to everyone, but I am saying that I think as a group, society, whatever, there has been a practice of minimizing the father's role or the male role in a business or whatever, or victimizing ourselves as a result of it. So what I had said to this person I was talking to was that I will not be a part of that. I believe that simply being a human gives you the capacity to love greatly, to show up, to be a contributing member of society, to have amazing ideas, to be soft, to be open, and all of that is okay. And then I thought, well, I need to, put my mouth where my mouth is and put this out too. So I needed to process it a little bit, think about it. And I came to the my perspective, let's be clear, it's my Facebook Live, I can do my perspective, is that sometimes as females, we do take on that bitch role. We do. And I don't think we leave room for the guys to show up, to show us that they have that within them. And then they get judged if they have it, that they're being wimpy or that they have no backbone, when isn't this what we would like our world to have? Everybody holding their own strength, having compassion, being open, and presenting with a balanced sense of self. And there have been many times where I've had someone come in who's going through a split divorce, and the dad's asking, I hate that I have to ask for visitation, but there's a request for visitation, and the mother doesn't want to give. And I'm like, excuse me, unless there's a safety issue, they have every right to develop the relationship with their children as you do. Just because you think because you have mammary glands that you have an additional benefit. And some of this is fed by when my stepsons were very young. My husband and I spent way more money than we had, way more time, way more patience fighting for custody because they were not in a safe situation. And simply because he was the father, he had no rights at that time. And we fought hard. I don't know if it was to our benefit, but, we were able to give them an example of what stability looks like. Whether they use it or not was up to them. And I feel like, and I see it often enough, that I took the challenge of this should be a Facebook Friday to have this be one of Vicki's soapbox moments. So, but I also feel like it hurts us as partners, as females. It doesn't always have to be a female partner. I've seen the same dynamic in same-sex relationships. And I'm simply asking those of you that may hear the words come out of your mouth that, the guys aren't capable of that, or, well, he's a dude. Well, yeah, I do know he's a dude. I can see he's a dude. But I don't know that he's not capable of reaching a level of communication and expression until I spend some time with that person. So to simply judge because of the gender and to judge because of what you may have experienced in your past limits you. I feel like if we can be open to everyone having the capacity to love, to have emotions, to have wants and desires, to want to grow, evolve, learn. We can't just keep that in the one gender or the other, or any of the genders for that matter. Why don't we just be humans? How's that work for you? But in this case, it was about always supporting the moms. And I did that thing I'm still doing it technically, but with them in my house for 27 years. And I feel like I was really good at giving Howard credit, because you can maybe surmise that he was the more demonstrative, the more free with his I love yous. He taught me that. So if I didn't have this great guy in my life, I don't know that I would be so good at what I do. And I don't know that I would have such a compassionate heart, or at least the ability to express it. And this came through someone who had, his mother is not compassionate, through her own process. But I want to actually have like a call of action to the females out there, that when you hear yourself judging the capacity, the feeling capacity, the loving ability of another being in your life, knock it off. Like, be open to whatever they're capable of. You may decide that, well, yeah, this is not someone who ever wants to do the work or ever wants to feel that vulnerability in order to express what's truly in themselves. And they may just have some clinical background that's too hard for them. It's too difficult, and that's fine. I'm not lumping everybody into everybody's a wonderful, amazing human being. I'm just saying I feel like we have to open our eyes and be less compartmentalizing about who's capable of having these emotions, because we all are. And for those of you who are minimizing your partner's role or your kid's father's role in their life, stop that too, because they need them. They need that example and that balance and that experience of what else is out there, what else is possible. And the limiting that you apply to someone else, you're applying to yourself. So the minute you start assessing that someone doesn't have a capability, or they're uncaring, or simply because of statistics, you have put yourself in that place. And I just think we're better than that as humans. I think we have the ability to rise above old stigmas, and we can create a more accepting environment if we meet people as humans and less as their labels and genders and all of that are concerned. For those of you who keep bumping into the same immature, not able to step up, perhaps too self-involved males, you need to change your vibration so that you then attract someone different in your life. I cannot tell you how many people use the phrase when they come in and they want to know about a future partner, and these are grown women, will come in and say to me, how do I, or when will I meet the boy of my dreams? Really? The boy of your dreams. I get that it's slang, cultural words, not cultural. What's it called? Like when it's now. Anyway, a now word. Stop it. You're attracting to you those that have those haven't evolved, boyish, sometimes insecurities, but affects. So if you want to have that partnership in your life, and this can be a business partner, it can be your romance partner, your best friend, whatever the category, you need to be looking for an adult. This goes back to that adult in charge thing. You need to be willing to attract to you someone who knows how to be and act like an adult and still keep that playfulness about them. So I'm so sure that we are blissfully intelligent beings, that we can come to this place that I'm asking everybody to join us. I have so many amazing men in my life that I know it's because I see them and not their gender first. I see the soul, I see the being. Doesn't mean I always put up with their foolishness. It simply means that when we greet each other, I hope that we're seeing each other as peers, as individuals, and then what's special about each other. So it's possible. And I really feel like the last push of energy that we went through that I talked about last week has helped to open that. Now we have to be willing to step up and take responsibility. So this is one of those weeks where you are mindful, month, year, lifetime, where you're mindful of your language inside your head and as you're speaking, of how are you referring to others in your life? How are you referring to the males who have been in your life? How do you talk about your coworkers? That's still a reflection on you. No matter what or whom you're talking about, it is a reflection on you, what you're sharing. So be mindful of that. And how about you start taking inventory of the ones in your life who are doing really well, who, maybe answer you when they say they're going to answer you, or they show up to help. I cannot tell you how touched I was when a couple of the guys from the gym just offered to carry my treadmill up three flights of stairs. Okay, they're a little nuts in that they like challenges, but I didn't even ask. Like, they just jumped on it, and they got that puppy in the heaviest chaise lounge you will ever purchase up to the third floor, and didn't see anything big about it, and then thanked me for allowing them to help. So I don't understand why, these are happy, by the way. I don't understand why someone would want to not invite that into their life. Like, why wouldn't you want that in there? Yes, it's scary to ask for help, and maybe they would have turned me down, but I would have called a moving company. Or I don't think I would have muscled it up there myself. I think I'm that smart that I wouldn't have. We need to leave the little room that I might have tried. But anyway, when you come in as a human, we all come in with varied characteristics. So the exterior is really not what matters. It's what's inside, and what is the capacity that you are willing to reach yourself. So the reason I said a shout out to the guys doing their work is because there are a bunch of them doing their work, meaning they're asking themselves, how do I be the best, steward of this universe? How do I contribute in my relationship? And some of the saddest things I see is someone in a relationship with a partner who doesn't appreciate them. And yet, because of how we have come to be as a civilization, some of these guys can't even say that they deserve to feel the love. And yes, that happens in every gender. It does. But I think it's time for us to knock it off. So this is me asking you, if you have any of that within you, to please give yourself the gift of meeting someone as a human first, and then the other stuff can filter in. Of course, you're going to pick it up. Okay? Because when you leave a space for someone to be expansive, a lot of the times they will show up. They really will. And that will be your clear indication, right? If somebody's not, if they choose not to, or they feel that you're a little wackadoodle because you're asking for that, well, then that will be your clear indication that this is not a soul that you connect with and that you best vibrate with. So that's my soapbox for this week. I wish you the best of weekends and everything that comes to be. Thank you for joining in, and you can look forward to some announcements coming up, probably some new marketing and all that stuff as we move forward with this Bayard Enterprises endeavor. And to those of you who are heart-centered and using your noggin, thank you for acknowledging the love that is out there and available in the universe. So I adore you all, and I will see you soon.